In the slumbering village of Karachavo, nestled beneath the watchful gaze of 1,000 pines, resided a young man named Ilya. Unlike the boisterous youths who wrestled in the dusty streets, Ilya was a wisp of a boy, his spirit as frail as his body. A cruel twist of fate had stolen his strength at a tender age, confining him to a simple wooden chair for a soul-crushing 33 years. Days melted into a monotonous blur, the only solace the quiet murmurs of his parents working the fields and the yearning for a life beyond the confines of his home. One day, as oppressive silence hung heavy in the air, a knock shattered the monotony. Ilya, his voice hoarse from disuse, called out in apology. The creaking of the door heralded not one, but 3 figures traveling pilgrims, their faces etched with the wisdom of 1,000 journeys. A flicker of hope, faint as a dying ember, ignited within Ilya. He explained his plight, his voice laced with a tremor of despair. The pilgrims, their eyes holding the glint of distant stars, did not offer empty platitudes. Instead, they requested a simple offering, a drink of water. Shame washed over Ilya as he confessed his inability to even rise from his chair. But the pilgrims, their gazes unwavering, held out a waterskin. As Ilya's parched lips met the cool liquid, a warmth, unlike anything he'd ever known, spread through him. It was a feeling both foreign and familiar, a forgotten strength tingling in his muscles. In a moment that would forever alter the fabric of reality, the pilgrims spoke in voices that resonated with the power of a summer storm. "Rise, Ilya," they boomed, the very walls trembling with the force of their command, "and go forth. You shall become a Bogatyr, a warrior of unmatched might." A surge of energy coursed through Ilya's body. He pushed himself up, legs wobbly but resolute. It was a miracle, a gift bestowed by unseen forces. No longer a helpless boy, Ilya stood tall, his heart pounding with a newfound purpose. The chair, a constant companion for so long, creaked as he pushed it aside, a symbol of a life left behind. Fueled by his newfound strength and a yearning for adventure that burned brighter than the midday sun, Ilya set his sights on the grand city of Kiev, the seat of Prince Vladimir. The journey was a tapestry of hardship, each step a testament to his newfound resilience. Upon reaching the city gates, Ilya, his peasant garb contrasting sharply with the polished armor of the guards, sought an audience with the prince. His heart thrummed with the hope of joining the ranks of the city's famed Bogatyrs, legendary warriors who safeguarded the land from monstrous threats. But the opulent halls of the prince's court held a different reality. Ilya's humble origins and unknown lineage were met with disdain by the prince and his existing Bogatyrs. Scoffs rippled through the chamber, the clinking of goblets a mocking counterpoint to Ilya's pounding heart. They saw not a potential hero, but a peasant with delusions of grandeur. Undeterred, Ilya refused to be dismissed. He craved not recognition, but the chance to prove his worth. A tense silence descended upon the court, broken only by the nervous jingling of a courtier's spurs. Just then, whispers of a monstrous creature named Solovei Razboynik, the nightingale robber, reached Ilya's ears. This half-man, half-bird fiend haunted the road to Kiev, his voice a weapon of unimaginable power that could shatter trees and send even the bravest warriors fleeing in terror. A spark ignited in Ilya's eyes. Here was his chance, not just to prove himself but to liberate the land from this monstrous scourge. He volunteered to confront Solovei Razboynik, his voice unwavering despite the snickers and gasps that filled the chamber. The prince and his Bogatyrs, certain of Ilya's demise, reluctantly granted him permission. As Ilya rode towards the creature's lair, a colossal oak tree that seemed to scrape the heavens, a tremor of fear threatened to consume him. But the memory of his miraculous healing, the echo of the pilgrim's words, spurred him on. He calmed his horse, a beast seemingly oblivious to the danger that lurked ahead, and rode into the heart of the monster's territory. Suddenly, the air split with a horrifying screech. Solovei Razboynik unleashed a sound that ripped through the trees, a torrent of pure malice that threatened to tear Ilya from his saddle. The earth trembled, leaves ripped from branches and birds plummeted from the sky, their lifeless forms raining down like a macabre confetti. Yet Ilya, his spirit fortified by a resolve born from years of confinement, held his ground. Would his newfound strength be enough to withstand this onslaught? The very air crackled with anticipation. With a deep breath that tasted of pine and defiance, Ilya drew his bow. Time seemed to slow down, the world reduced to the singular focus of the arrow nocked on the string. He aimed not at the monstrous birdman perched on the branch above, but at the creature's throat, the only vulnerable spot visible through the tangled mess of feathers. In that suspended moment, Ilya poured every ounce of his newfound strength and the desperation of years of confinement into his shot. The bowstring sang a taut melody as it released the arrow. It flew with an unnatural speed, a streak of silver against the darkening sky. The world held its breath. Then, with a sickening thud, the arrow pierced Solovei Razboynik's throat. A deafening silence descended, broken only by the creature's death throes. The monstrous birdman slumped to the ground, its once vibrant feathers dull and lifeless. The air, heavy with the aftermath of terror, slowly began to clear. Ilya, his body racked with the exertion of the shot and the lingering aftershock of the creature's screech, dismounted his horse. With cautious steps, he approached the fallen foe, half expecting the creature to rise and unleash another bone-chilling shriek. But Solovei Razboynik lay still, a grotesque monument to Ilya's newfound power. As Ilya surveyed the scene, a wave of exhilaration washed over him. He had not only defeated a monster, but defied the expectations of an entire court. He had risen from a helpless boy to a warrior, his strength a testament to the pilgrim's prophecy. Tying Solovei Razboynik's lifeless body to his saddle, Ilya turned his horse towards Kiev. The journey back was different. The road, once shrouded in fear, now seemed to welcome him. The villagers, who had previously cowered behind bolted doors, emerged from their homes, their faces etched with awe and gratitude. News of his victory spread like wildfire, whispered on the wind and carried by jubilant travelers. By the time Ilya reached the city gates, a hero's welcome awaited him. The very court that had scoffed at his request now erupted in cheers. The prince, his face flushed with a mixture of surprise and grudging respect, offered Ilya a place amongst his Bogatyrs. Ilya, his heart brimming with a newfound sense of belonging, readily accepted. He knew his journey had just begun. The land held countless threats, monstrous creatures and treacherous enemies. But Ilya, the once frail boy from Karachavo, was no longer afraid. He was a Bogatyr, a warrior touched by destiny, and he would face whatever challenges lay ahead with the unwavering spirit of a man who had cheated fate itself.